I saw the thing that you put up. You put up a report for, I think, Quantum. I added some stuff to it. I don't know if you saw.
Oh yeah.
Hey, can you guys?
By the way, is LSPD handling that?
Brother.
Can you check for tampering?
Because I talked to Prey yesterday. He has some very interesting stuff to say.
Nothing happens when I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say?
We can't do it. As
You guys
marshals yet.
beefing or something?
No. We're doing the pop.
Let's say there are some issues that are very bad that are occurring. He's on a full corrupt arc. That's the long and short of
He
it.
called marshals a bunch of nerds.
We are nerds.
Yeah, nerds are good things. What the
Yeah.
fuck? This
Yeah,
is
this is all the work.
1985, dude. Geeks
He
are
said-
bad. Nerds are good.
He said you never closed the case ever. You never got a prosecution.
Wait, I haven't?
He said, open the docket. This guy never prosecuted anybody successfully.
Have you tried opening the docket?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you should open the docket.
No, I was
actually.
humoring him at the moment. but I
Coyote,
didn't.
why do you have purple hair and a green nose?
So I will I'll summarize, right? You have to understand that he was fired from law enforcement a long time ago, and joined a terrorist organization, and he subsequently got expunged and became chief. So I think he's got like a little bit of a competition going with me, but most of his competition kind of comes from, you know, deriving, you know, false accusations like the one you just mentioned.
So if you were to go band for band with him, you take him down?
Ban for ban?
You know, like, you know, they say like in the UK, I go
He's
band for
asking
band.
if you have more money than him.
No, but like,
Oh.
not money, but like prosecution.
Oh, bang to bang. Yeah, just take a look at the docket. I came back
Okay.
and I raided the biggest damn gang in the city within 2 weeks.
I said, Kyle, I love you, man. I fuck with you. But I say, he kick your ass in court. And then that's when he said, I said, he will fuck you up in court. Don't even. And he said,
Yeah.
this guy never got a prosecution ever.
That's
You know,
actually
there's another topic, Coyote.
okay.
¿Qué pasa?
Get Crane. We're talking.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Done.
I
He
would
interrupted
love
the
to.
conversation.
The thing is, he wants me to prosecute him, but I don't really operate with his way of going about it. So, you know, going head to head would make sense, but he's got to put up some docket postings first. You know what I mean? In fact, do we got Blunt in the back? No, we don't. That the biggest case that he's been involved in was run by the marshals, and that was one with New Babylon. Where,
he said that Marshall come in at the last second and take credit for everything they do.
No. I'd listen. I'm not gonna make any claims here, but I would just pull up the docket yourself and take a look at the reports.
Okay, I
You
will.
know? It's important
Love
to
you.
make up your own mind. You know what I mean?
Of course. I love him and I love you too.
I hope he dies.
You know, I will say, he did mention that secretly you guys are best friends. Is that
No,
true?
we're good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Hey,
right.
Coyote, before you go, who was that lady that you used to hang out with in the private rooms all the time in MRPD when you were quote unquote doing your investigations?
Oh, I sent her a twat during training.
Oh,
I
Tilly.
I sent
What
her
was her name?
Brian Knight's twat.
Oh.
Tilly Winder.
Huh. You like sequels, Coyote? You an Empire Strikes Back fan, or are you more of a New Hope?
My favorite book is the sequel to The Three Musketeers.
Oh,
Wait,
good to
what
know.
is that?
20 years after. It's so fucking good.
Wait, what is it called?
20 years after.
Oh, it's literally called 20 years after.
See, have you heard of Man in the Iron Mask? The one with Leonardo
Yes.
DiCaprio? That's the 5th book of the series. There's 5
Oh.
books total. See,
Oh, damn.
the second one is so... It's very political. You would love it. You have to
Coyote,
read
I'm
it
just
like...
gonna be nice about this.
Go on.
Just embrace the fact that you're a nerd.
Wait, do you take offense to that?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because being a nerd is good.
If we do our job correctly, I don't care. Like, if I can serve the public, I don't care what anyone says.
Well, I mean, listen, we're going to be black bagging people soon enough. Just
Okay.
waiting for
Can't
the
wait.
SOPs.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So,
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Okay, I go. I have to interview EMS
All
before
right.
you go to sleep.
hey, you
See
take
ya.
care. Oh, per your you brought up investigation originally. I'll give you the long and short of it. After the financial investigation started. Individual members of law enforcement have started to do independent investigations, and they're refusing to speak with us.
What?
Yes.
Who is this, LSPD?
And yeah, and
Ugh.
it's gotten bad enough that one of their own detectives gave me a call. And I said, no, we got to be in communication because we may end up with a roads violation. Roads violation meaning, let's say you're working a case and someone else decides to do it as well without communicating. Specifically, they should be going to Springfield, who's the only one in the last 3 years who's ever actually made such a case. No one else has done it. Now, the concern I have is, to give you an example, I was told by the chief that Springfield should have given them the Bruce Baylor case. And in doing so is sort of making the claim that they are going to take all the financial cases. My concern is that this shitlording is going to result in someone's hard work kind of going to shit. But I'm going to protect it as best I can. Now, what that means is if there are others, regardless of department, politics should not get in the way. Work with the law enforcement that you think, as long as they're willing to be involved, involve them. However, if you find that you're working a case and someone is interfering, let me know and I'll take care of it. So
He mentioned yesterday, like, let's go interview right now, Philly Schmidt. But I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to disrupt anything. Like if anybody else was, investigating, pretty much what you said. Can I say something that's a relief?
really, that is
Because
interesting.
they're looking into it too. They're looking. I suppose everyone's looking into it now.
A lot of people claim to be investigators, but they're there for the tea. It's something you'll learn very quickly. And one of the key points of what my directive is to ensure that when we look into somebody, we're actually following through with it. So I wouldn't say that's a individual issue rather than a departmental one. But I agree. I think, listen, if you're running that case, that's your case, and we're going to support it all the way through. You know what I mean?
Interesting. He told me some stuff that we already knew as marshals, that like they had just cracked, that they had evidence, but I didn't want to say, like, I didn't reveal anything. I was just kind of going
I'll
along
give you
with it.
the TLDR is, for some reason, they have become interested. This is a pattern issue. And which is good, right? Springfield inspiring folks into it. The bad thing is when it's done unilaterally, because
What does that mean, unilateral?
unilateral is like, let's say there's like 3 people on a football team, and 3 of those individuals, or not 3 people on a football team, but let's say you're in a football team and the quarterback, the coach says, go do this play. The quarterback decides to do something else, and then someone else decides to do something else.
Oh,
right?
okay. Everyone going separate.
Correct. So
No
now
harmony.
there's no harmony. Exactly. There is no unified strategy on that case. So
I gotta say something that's been a massive relief on this academy.
Mhm.
When I first joined the march, you say like, we don't fuck up here. Everyone here is like, we've been successful, whatever we've done. Man, that made me so stressed. Like the way I was handling
do fuck
things,
up.
like dotting
We do.
every I. Like to hear that, like, it's okay, man. It's about the journey. It's like a
No.
big weight off my shoulders. I feel like
100%.
I can see the light again.
And let me phrase what may have been said previously. We look down on corruption. And we are the last stop between what is legal and what is illegal. And not only are we ensuring that there are no terrorist organizations, state actors that, take over the state or whatever, but we're also the only agency that is responsible of making sure that government agencies are not acting corrupt. And sometimes that's going to make us the bad guy. Sometimes that's going to drive some hate our way. in the same way that cops sometimes get hate from criminals, right? We almost got to do the same with other agencies. So it's like that much more important that we, have our, we're clean cut, so to speak. So.
I see. Can I give you one last bit of tea?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give you 2 pieces. Marlo has been sending the audit requests. Seamus, Finley, and a bunch of people are now returning like droves of money, like millions and millions to him.
So Springfield and I spoke on this very issue on Thursday. We have a lot of thought to put behind it. The first thing is, it's a good thing.
Oh, it's an admission of guilt instantly.
Well,
it's wonderful.
Well, let's start with the first stage, right? You know what happened? Springfield, the marshals have brought fear into the hearts of these people, right? And that right there is 90% of what law enforcement's about. And I'm going to give you an example, right? Do you know why very few people are willing to go to court with me? You want to know the real reason?
They think they're going to get beaten?
Because when I say I'm going to do something, I don't give up. I have fucking destroyed gangs. I've taken everything away from them. Have you ever seen the big Cypress warehouse?
No, I haven't really gone there.
Biggest warehouse in the city.
1 year ago.
No, this is 4 months ago. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's the last time I was there.
They took a $7 million plea deal. One guy. And I stripped the entire building.
Interesting.
And you might ask yourself, why the fuck did they take it?
Is plea deal on the table for what we're doing now with the...
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a tool.
I like that.
It's a tool. It's a ask yourself this question. Why did they take a $7 million plea deal?
Because they probably thought they were going to get fucked for way more.
Because I didn't look at just that individual. I broke their entire network.
Interesting.
Because when I started looking through those subpoenas, I know who used to use the building. I knew where the money was going. I had gone all the way down to their clean person. And I sat there in interrogation and I started to name them. And I said, you're going to take this. Or we start looking into Teddy. And we start looking into Bruce, which we eventually did. We're going to start looking into the Merchants Guild. Now, why do I use that approach? Because eventually you want people to know how dangerous you are. Because what that ends up doing is that fear that you're driving makes people stop. And that's what law enforcement's all about. And what Springfield did is the very same thing. All these people that took that illegal money, they're fucking shitting their fucking pants. Right? You only got to fire the gun a couple times. After that, when you go scream at them and you say, hey, put the fucking... No one gets in my... I'll give you another... When people get inside my cruiser just to try to steal it, I pull my gun out and I make it very clear I'm going to blow their fucking head off. And you know why they get out? Because they know I'll do it. If you go get like some other person, they're going to be like, oh, this guy's just talking shit. The follow-through, Coyote. Right?
Follow through.
The follow-through.
Okay.
And that's something I want you to keep in the back of your mind. Now, that doesn't... You said something else. Is it an admission of guilt? Well... Yes, to a degree.
It is. I've looked at the definitions. If you return money that was just sitting there, that is immediately in non-accordance with what it was authorized for.
we have spoken about giving people amnesty, but there has been no decision yet. Now I'm going to explain what that means, and you should be a part of this conversation, to be honest. When we go and weigh what is amounting to about 40, let's say 40 businesses that should be visited, right? We should be looking at all of them as a collective in this financial unit, let's call it. And we look at that and we say, we looked at that set of, and this is before you had to, join the marshals. You look at it and you say, and when we looked at it, we said, Bruce Baylor may not have requested the most amount of money. But compared to everyone, when you take how much did he take and how much of it was obviously from the evidence that we had in the grant subpoenas, we have the most strategic opportunity to dig into his information and get a guilty plea. That's why he was chosen. It wasn't how much did he take, but it was think of it like a formula. It was the first variable was how much did he take, and the second variable was how much evidence is there to get a conviction. Now that he's over and done with, we want to look at the playing field again. And we know that some people have given the money back. Should we go for them? Or is there someone who's sitting there and saying, fuck no, this 25 million, it's mine, and the cops aren't going to do anything about it? It in many ways might make more sense to go after that one.
To that point, Tony Leung and Benji, remember I told you the collective figure that Tony was involved in? Well, those guys gave Marlo a first, whatever, and then after the 72 hours, Benji said, go fuck yourself. So they've given him an outright refusal to respond to any sort of audit, any bank records, everything. A complete refusal.
Yes.
Tony Leung is involved in 55 million. That's really interesting. You said that approach.
Exactly. Because why are we looking at the big picture? Because these other individuals, now don't get me wrong, the fucking guy that gave the money back, the 6, 7, 8 million, that guy fucking murdered somebody and PD dropped the ball. They didn't fucking charge him. It was fucking ridiculous.
Is this Seamus we're talking about?
Yeah, Seamus McCarthy. That guy fucking murdered somebody. I found the gun. I brought him in. I did all the work. We found it during a separate raid, and they gave him like accessory to second degree murder. It was fucking ridiculous. It absolutely mind blowing. Like, we had him dead to rights. And if not him, we had the fucking clean person, I forgot what her name was, dead to rights. That's not when you use a plea deal. Unless they're getting a big charge. You get what I'm saying? A plea deal is like a slider. The more work we need to do in order to get a conviction, let's say, for example, Seamus, let's say it requires 3 marshals, maybe 3, like 100 man hours of paperwork, and we barely had something. I'm just using it as an example. That means our slider should be in such a way that we're giving him a hit. He's admitting it, but not really admitting it. We're saying we have enough, even though, like, we know there's a shitload of work. So you go for a plea deal that's kind of on the light side, right? And that gets the conviction. It gets some money back. Justice is served. But if you have everything, then that slider needs to go way the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because then you can go to the next target.
It's really interesting. Like, if the people that cooperated are given plea deals, they're allowed to sort of return, and then the ones that do an outright refusal are shut down. That would be incredible. That would be incredible.
Think about it from a...
Kovacic was saying that for yesterday as a smart strategy.
100%. Because think about this from a... Because this isn't peanut work, right? What we're doing is we're actually creating patterns. Because for every guilty plea, we've created a pattern that gets weaponized into the next case. Now, we are currently making up for 3 years of dog shit policing and dog shit investigations. I'm being very blunt about it. I'm sure there's like, Opal's great, V Gray's great, Ruby's great. There's a bunch of other detectives, right, that are good, and there's been some good cases. But this is by far the worst set of cases I have seen in years, because the bigger picture isn't being looked at, and that how every conviction actually, think of it as like sharpening the sword. Now, how does it apply to the Seamus case? After the Bruce, there's two things I'm going to state here. The first is, we're law enforcement. What's our goal? Our goal is to stop crime and prevent people from continuing to do it. So when someone says like, hey man, I did that, and shows remorse and shows that they aren't going to do it again, we've done 90% of the job. Versus the guy that says, fuck no, I'm not guilty. I never committed that terrorism. I didn't do anything wrong. That person's a bigger danger to society, right? Because the first guy, he's going to stop. That second guy, that person's going to commit serial, crimes. That's a bigger danger. That person isn't just going to do it themselves. He's going to convince others to do the same. Second point. Even though Seamus returned the money.
Part of the money. He didn't return all of it.
That doesn't mean we have to fully close the door on him, right? On the case. We could go and pressure him and be like, hey man, you still got another 3.5 million. What's going on there? Right? Do you really want this to go away? And fucking return the rest. Or here's a plea deal for the charge. Now, and I'm not saying those are the only two approaches, but what I'm saying is we don't have to fully close the door. But there's a second bit. You mentioned Benji Ramos. Because some of these people gave the money back, you know what they actually did for us? They've shown that the grants, by evidence and by virtue of there being a pattern of people returning money, that the money was always mismanaged. The moment they return that money, we now have an argument with facts that businesses actually were overpaid, and that because the Bruce Baylor situation brought it to light, there's more funds that have been misappropriated. And that sword that's now been sharpened can fucking chop Benji's head right off.
As far as Seamus goes, I've been working on his for like a week or two, compiling evidence, trying to draft the documents in the right way to, the probable cause to ask for arrest for or charge for embezzlement, and even potentially locking down one of the properties. Does this mean now that he returned the money that like all goes away? Like
No.
We shouldn't.
No, because he still did the crime.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that doesn't, just because you return the money doesn't mean, like,
See,
I don't know enough about the facts.
I still want to get him into a talk, and just kind of ask him some questions.
I would say that just because you return the money, so we don't even have a actual amnesty program, right? And even of what we've spoken about, this is a conversation you should have with Springfield. But her idea was actually give them money. We give them people a week to return the money, and we might look the other way so that 50 cases turns into 10 spicy ones. It also means we get a pattern or whatever. But in regards to, she knows we haven't gotten that far yet. Because it doesn't even exist. Simply because they gave the money back doesn't mean they didn't do anything illegal.
See, to me, it's an admission of guilt as far as I'm concerned.
But I wouldn't say admission of guilt is too strong of a statement.
When I say
but it's
admission
evidence.
of guilt, I look at
evidence of guilt.
If you look at the verbiage, it's like if you're, especially with the precedent set by the Bruce Baylor case, the verdict was as follows by the justice. 2.5 million was asked for a lane, but only 1.5 was used. The remainder was diverted to other things, but that is not what was listed in the proposal. Because they didn't match the proposal verbatim, it is deemed embezzlement. That was the verbiage that was concluded. I copied and highlighted it. So that precedent is said. You said 2.5 million. You only spent 1 million. You then diverted. You said the remainder is now going to be used for flight school. And said that doesn't work. You said 2.5 million. You paid 2.5.
And not to mention, how did the money get paid back? What if they already? Because let me give you an example, right? If you gave me $1 million and I used it for, and I said I wanted the $1 million for this car. Yeah. But as an example, let's say you're the mayor.
But you invested and you get 10 million.
And you invested it and you gambled the money and now you have $3 million. But I asked for the 1 million to buy a car, like a truck fleet. I still committed a crime.
100%.
And not to mention, that 1 million turned to 10 million. I might have to owe you the $10 million.
That's what Springfield did. That's what the president with the judges, they confiscated
Exactly.
30 million. They said 30 million was embezzled, but a total of 130 million is confiscated.
Hop on it.
Okay.
I'm a big, my policing and what I try to imprint on individuals. Hold on one second. Just gonna let Ruby know that we're done.
There's a CVPI there that I can't work for some reason.
Let me see.